Alright, last time we did not do an intro.
These things happen.
These
We
things
did?
happen.
We didn't?
No. We were too busy talking about some bullshit.
Oh.
Yeah, but that's natural too.
We said our names at the end.
Right.
You gotta make it through.
Two of us that made it all the way to the end. Yeah. Okay. Alright, I'm Pat.
I'm Will.
Hi, I'm Jeffrey.
This is Coffee Before Bed.
Yeah, it is.
William, what is Coffee Before Bed?
Drinking caffeinated beverages before you sleep, counterintuitively producing more sleep.
Yeah, but we're doing it an hour earlier than we usually do.
That's true.
So I've kind of given up on the idea of usually sleeping on Wednesday nights. So
I was bracing for impact.
I might actually sleep tonight.
Well,
Like
yeah.
this semester, I got to be at school. I got to get up at like 8 in the morning. So last 2 weeks, it's like 3:45, and I'm like, I should probably go to bed.
Oh, wow. You really pushed the limits.
Yeah. I've been playing Sea of Thieves too. So
Oh, you got back into that?
I'm way back into that game right now, man.
Oh.
All right,
So-
explain to me the cycle of game. Because, like, I remember hearing this, like, a year ago.
Yeah. So like, all right. Normally, my cycle of game involves like 2 major projects a year, and by a major project, I mean like big open world motherfucker that I'm gonna put 150 hours into.
And 150 hours would be accomplished in 2 weeks, 3
Depends on how much I suck at the game. So, like the game that like out of all the big open world games that I played, the one that I probably spent the most time sucking at was The Witcher. So
Is that
and
a
I
good
didn't even
game?
make it all the way through that game.
No.
So
I liked it a ton.
oh yeah,
I
no, it's a lot
actually-
of fun. So yeah, there were some systems in that game that I just wasn't getting. But like, and see, we weren't playing at the same time. So like when you were playing Dragon Age,
Yeah.
you were like, "Oh, Pat, this shit's busted. Check this out."
Well, I mean, I got some of that from you too. Was like you were the one that said you're going to do a Knight Enchanter class, and I was like, oh, I didn't even think about doing
Jedi
that.
class, yeah.
And so yeah, I went back
There's a
into that.
Jedi class in Witcher or Dragon Age?
Dragon Age, there's a class in there that is utterly busted, and so we
Okay.
called it Jedi class
Alright.
because
I was
you're
like-
basically a one-man tank / killing machine. So you're a fucking space marine. So
Well, it was. I wouldn't even say Space Marine, man, because like. So Pat and I have joked about this many times, and we're going to joke about it again. So in a lot of these kind of games where you wander around, you find things, you pick up things, you craft them, whatever, right? There's this constant balance that you find between cosmetics and function,
right.
right?
Okay.
Statistics, right? And so, especially in the early game, you find yourself wearing like a tire and,
Yeah.
and like a hockey mask.
Jeff is specifically talking about Fallout.
Yeah,
All right. I didn't think that we were in Dragon Age anymore.
yeah. You got some kind of dumbass hat on or something like that. When you swore at the beginning, like, that guy wouldn't do that. He has hair, right? Or whatever,
Yeah.
right? But sometimes in these games, when you stop and you do the math and you look at these things, you say, all right, so this times this times this. If I do this, well, I'm untouchable,
Yeah.
right? Not because they can't phase me, but because I will kill them
Yeah.
before they have the chance to do anything nasty. So then you dress for fashion.
Yeah. So we've done this in every game,
Okay,
man.
gotcha.
We've done this in every game. So like, yeah, Jeff was the first one in Fallout 4. You went with the full like Batman costume.
No, it wasn't that. It was they had the silver.
Oh yeah.
And it was this awesome looking combination hat and jacket.
Yeah.
And
Made you look like a badass detective from the 30s.
sort of,
Yeah.
yeah. And it worked out great. And you went around. This is the crazy story. So
There's this jacket you can get later in the game. So there's what, 3 factions in the game or 4?
well, there's 4 big factions and then a bunch of like little guys.
Yeah. And so the first people that you run into who turn out to be like the helpless civilians are what they call the Minutemen
Yeah.
in this game because it takes place in Boston.
Okay, fair enough.
So anyway, and so they're really annoying in the beginning, but I had a kind of an affinity towards them. And when Jeff like sat down and did the math on some of the guns, and I did the math on some different guns, and we kind of came up with similar results. Whereas like I can run around fucking naked and I'm gonna kill everything. I found this jacket that was like this Revolutionary War general thing.
Oh.
And I was like, this is my motherfucking
Yeah.
You know? So I'd run around literally in that thing.
Until
Oh no, actually
it's the other jacket.
the Adams cat jacket,
until
yeah.
you just like, you guys are dorks.
Dorks. Yeah. So I found this cool leather jacket that's like this biker jacket, okay? And
Yeah.
it says Adam Cats on the back of it. Okay, and I'm like, oh, that's fucking sweet. I'm gonna run a gang. All right?
Yeah, and you went for that like 50s greaser.
I had a greaser. I had
Yeah.
the Converse shoes, the fucking rolled up
Are
pants.
you Negan?
I kind of was, yeah. So, but I mean, I was badass enough, you know, where like I could just rock it, like no hat, no helmet, no armor, just a pair of like aviators.
Yeah.
Yeah. And anyway, I didn't realize this because I was wearing this jacket for like 2/3 of the game.
Yeah.
Okay, because Jeff, we broke that game pretty fast. You
yeah.
did in particular.
Yeah.
So anyway, I finally get to the point in time where I'm getting ready to finish the game, and I start scrubbing down the map. All right, eventually I find my general's jacket, but I don't start wearing it yet because I actually find the Atom Cats, which is an actual gang, and they were dorks.
Oh!
They were terrible, terrible people, and so I wound up killing all of them. All right,
But you were repping them for like
I was repping them
60
forever, man. Like 60 hours in this fucking game. I was like, oh no, man. Because it fit like the music, the early 60s and
absolutely,
everything.
yeah, yeah.
You
If you
know?
find these guys, they're great. Try and join up with them. And then you get there and you're like, how many people have I sent here? You all will die.
Yeah, and I was like, you guys are awful people, you know? So just like terrorizing my local Minuteman. And I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck? I thought this was a game for good. I thought this was like the bikers that show up at the hospitals. You know?
Right,
Yeah, or
right,
kind of thing.
yeah.
No, they were assholes. So, but yeah, no, like every game that Jeff and I played in this one, like, I mean, I could tell you, both of us could probably tell you stories about Cyberpunk. But the other one that I remember was actually Dragon Age when I built that
Yeah.
Jedi old man.
Yeah.
All right, and he was I'd go out and solo dragons. I'd
Yeah.
bring other people
Yeah.
for comic relief. You know, and they die like 100 times. They'd be like, "That's okay, I'll take care of it, and we'll res you, man.
Yeah.
It'll be fine." So, because I have the Jesus hand, I can do that.
Yeah.
So anyway, like we got in all the crafting in that game, which was actually a pretty cool
We
system.
sure did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We craft the fuck out of things. So anyway, I find this vest that I can craft, and I crafted out of this like dragon that I slaughtered who was bright orange. So I ran around in a bright orange safety vest.
Oh my god.
Because I was like, yeah, you're gonna want to know that I'm coming.
You're warning the dragons. They actually like put their hands in. Ah, he's coming.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, we've mentioned this before, but one of your people is part of this long-standing, well-pedigreed group, and there's this expensive axe
Oh yeah.
in the shop, and you're just like, when am I going to get the Skrilla to buy this thing? And then here's the thing: eventually, you find yourself awash with money.
Oh, you're Bill Gates, man. Yeah.
But okay, the other thing is that the crafting system was so messed up that you could make the equivalent unit, this axe that was selling on sale there. You could craft this thing with just some parts that you had, like rare parts. Don't get me wrong, okay? But you could make this thing, and it busts the stats on this super rare
Oh
item.
yeah.
But it's this family thing. But we didn't care. So like when I bought that when I bought that family heirloom, I was like, yeah, but there's a part in here I need.
Yeah.
So I took this precious thing and I just like took a Phillips head screwdriver to it and said pop, and I put that in the actual like the thing that I'd made with like Craftsman and like Cobalt tools. And, I took the DeWalt to it and I screwed it back in, and I threw the heirloom just like over the fence and like
Yeah.
it's useless.
That was
now.
Cassandra's axe, right?
Yeah.
So she keeps, my family axe and blah, blah, blah. And then,
You buy it,
you
and-
just buy it, and you're like, oh, well, it's got this one piece that I need. And so you just rip
Yeah.
it out and make that axe fucking useless.
Yeah.
Did you do that in front of her?
It's like family meeting.
Yeah.
You all need to be here when I desecrate
It's
this.
your family's heirloom?
No,
No,
it's hers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean, I suppose it wouldn't stop you either way if it was yours.
well, no. The other thing, of course, is I ended up giving it to her because I don't use this thing, right?
Yeah.
Missing the piece?
Well, like the family part, but like the
Yeah.
so there was like this jewel in there that was actually like super rare and
Yeah.
usable. But yeah, just like this pops right out, and we're gonna put this in this thing that I just made with stuff I found.
Yeah. Making your shit infinitely more badass
Yeah.
than hers.
But
I mean, you could give your, I mean,
stand on tradition.
yeah, dude, you could give your fucking, party like butter knives and turkey basters at the end, because you're
Oh,
such
that
a
point, yeah.
badass, that it's
Oh,
like,
and
oh,
they
you guys are all just my retinue at this point in time. Sing me some songs while I go murder dragons.
Well, and the other thing too, this goes like straight into like Fallout, where it was. So you look at Kellogg's pistol, and I was like, all right, well, this thing's pretty neat. But then you take it over to like the vice grip, and you're like, well, okay. So if I take out everything except for the case, right? I could put this. This is still Kellogg's pistol, but we have a real Ship of Theseus thing going on here.
Right, yeah.
If I've replaced all the parts, is it really Kellogg's pistol?
Right, yeah. And the only thing that's still original is the serial number.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so, but I haven't played one of those big games this year. I don't think. What did we do earlier this year? I can't remember what I was into.
You did the Quake thing? Not Quake.
Oh, yeah, Doom.
Doom,
All right, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I finished that.
I have not finished that game. So, I went on a cruise and got COVID and I lost
Right.
all of my skills. So, they've just been etch-a-sketched out. So, yeah.
That was a good time.
That game was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
It's a lot of fun. You get a little sweaty playing it, though.
it didn't fuck around, man.
No.
They ask you directly. It's kind of like, how do you want to play this? Or I don't. Like, there's
Yeah.
this thing of like, have you been like peeking around corners for I don't know the past 12 years?
Right.
Does it
Oh.
ask you if you have a pacemaker or anything?
I don't
Do you have a
think
heart
so.
condition?
No,
It probably
it's-
says that somewhere in there, but it doesn't like specifically ask you.
Like
Yeah.
on this one level, on the hardest setting, it's just like, yes, sure.
they
Did
used
you
to.
clear this with your
Yeah.
doc?
They used to be really cheeky about this kind of stuff, where if you played on lower levels, it would mock you. It would,
Yeah,
stuff
I
like
remember.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at this point, they're like, are we picking on people with disabilities? I'm like, so somebody's got to.
Well, they still had "Don't Hurt Me, Daddy," so if I'm not mistaken,
I don't.
or no, it's "Please Don't Hurt Me." Yeah,
I can't remember. I can't.
Wolfenstein was "Don't Hurt Me, Daddy," when he's got the pacifier.
They backpedaled on that eventually. Like
Oh,
the
did
next
they?
ones, they're like,
Oh.
we caught a whole lot of shit for this. Sometimes you
I
just
don't
gotta
know.
take it. It's
Yeah.
just, I don't know. Like,
Doom wasn't that hard once you figured out some of the systems in it, but then it's just a matter of like reflexes, and my reflexes are not what they were when we were back in the Call of Duty prime.
it wasn't reflexes for
15
me
years
that
ago.
it wasn't reflexes for me that made it efficient. Actually, I had to think a little bit more. I was like, what do I want to do?
Right,
Right.
yeah.
There's this mode of like, all right, well, crazy works, and then there's this layer of, if I take the crazy and understand the crazy, but then there's a strategy to it.
Right.
This is how I stay alive,
Yeah.
and then
Oh, extra lives actually matter. Oops.
well, things like that too. So
Yeah.
yeah, eventually, having to think things out ended up working a lot better, instead of just going nuts. So
Yeah.
That's still fun though.
Oh, it's hell of a lot of fun.
I would go back and finish it already, but that's
Yeah, I probably will. So, I just like, what was it, like 2 weeks ago? They dropped a new season on Sea of Thieves, and I was like, looking at Quake. I was frustrated with Doom that night.
oh. Yeah,
And I was like, well, fuck. What else do I have on my PC?
wow,
Now it
sure.
won't take a night and a half to download. So I was like, oh, this game is pretty. I forgot about that. So now I'm like, oh, this game is actually kind of relaxing. So I got into that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm not afraid of other people in that game anymore.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I don't really fight them though. I just load up my ship with explosives. And if they decide to chase me, I make sure they have a bad day.
Oh,
It's kind of fun.
All right, I can see that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the game is toxic as fuck. So
You know, some of them are supposed to be.
that one is particularly toxic. So
I mean, I'm
yeah.
hearing the call of Rust, but I don't know if I'm going to dive in. I think I'm having more fun watching other people.
I'll play Rust. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. There's still a couple games out there that I want. So I've got all of the Horizon Zero Dawn games in my fucking bucket. I never played any of those. So they finally released them on PC like last year. So I didn't want to pay $70 for it though.
Well,
Yeah. So I don't know. Let's see what else comes out.
was playing like Marvel Puzzle Quest or whatever that is.
Strike Force.
My
Strike
apologies.
Force.
Yeah.
Yeah. You play it on your phone though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And I don't think I've played a phone game since Trivia Crack.
Oh, whoa!
Oh, man, I
oh
played-
yeah.
and I played
Okay.
the
Yeah.
fuck out
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had this. For a long time, I was playing this really kind of crappy like tower defense game.
Oh, neat. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've played that for.
Age of Empires is kind of a tower defense game.
That's so. I've been doing way more experimenting with that than you have.
Oh, yeah, you should. Yeah. Well, I mean, we should play it again. So,
We should.
Yeah.
We're having a lot of fun with that.
That was a lot of fun. So we were banging on the Muslims last time. So
Which, yeah, because you tried to play him the first time. Like, does
I-
this not make your skin crawl, dude?
no, I got randoed into it, man.
I didn't.
So
I told
Allah,
you not to rando it.
Allah
would
assigned me
rando.
the fucking the Muslims. So I didn't know what anything of the things did at all. But no, that game's hella fun. So
It is. It was a good time.
yeah,
I
the
played
second
it,
game that
so-
we played was much better. So because I mean, it was like, oh, okay, I know what this building does. Yeah. So,
Yeah, I'm not sure if you'd like it. I don't know. You don't. Have you played anything?
you should play some Civ Revolut or something.
Oh my god!
Oh god, that'd be fun.
How?
I don't even know. I don't know how you do that.
I have a sneaking suspicion that the servers for that game are probably not running.
You think so?
Yeah, since it's not Call of and/or Duty, most of those are like shut down after the like 10 years.
Can you still play like original Black Ops?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, those are still running. But
Oh.
I think that also came. I think they did like a re-release,
You're right, they did. Yeah.
so I think you can kind of play them all. But I don't remember.
Yeah.
You can't play some of the games anymore.
Oh yeah.
Not online.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Because yeah, if you just if you're like
That's right.
Activision, you're like, dude, we're paying $60,000 a week, you know, for our servers. There's like 4 guys playing. And they're all really good. Like it's time we shut this down on them and force them to buy a new Call of Duty.
Yeah.
So is Age of Empires like Civ,
In some ways, it's a little bit more RTS.
Yeah, it's like
RTS?
Oh, real time strategy
Oh,
stuff.
Warcraft,
Um,
you know, fucking Red Alert stuff.
Did you say World of Warcraft?
Not
No.
that one. Warcraft 3.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, 2 and 1.
Yeah. 2. I don't think I ever played 1, actually.
I did.
Yeah?
Yeah. It was fine.
I
It
played
was
a lot of 2.
Well, yeah, because like 1, nobody remembers it fondly for a reason. It was the last of the single click RTS
Oh, yeah, okay.
games.
I don't even know what the
You
option that
couldn't
top-
group your units.
Oh,
You had to grab one dude at a time,
Yeah.
one action at a time.
I
Gotcha.
learned that from Kevin in Dune. So
Yeah,
where
that
you'd
was-
line up your tanks in an angle and then order them so
Yeah.
they'd all get there at the same time. So, oh my god, it was like that is so fucking tedious.
oh wow.
The game is so much fun.
No, okay, look. You just put it this way: we just didn't know any better. There
That's
weren't.
correct. Yeah. Yeah.
And it was strategy to actually line up your tanks that way and do that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Because Command and Conquer was after the first Warcraft, wasn't it? You could group your units in Command and Conquer.
I can't tell you whether I feel like they came out the same week, but I don't.
They might
know.
have. It might have been pretty close.
I really can't tell you. I feel like Warcraft 2 and Command and Conquer like popped up at the same time.
Was that like 25 years ago?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Okay.
And so yeah, so this is Age of Empires is this, but with a little bit more like history dorkage. That kind of like
Kind of.
so. Well, when you play the campaign, it's actually really
Yeah. Yeah.
like educational. I'm like, this presentation is great.
Yeah. No.
I'm
good.
playing a single player campaign in an RTS game, and I'm loving it.
Yeah.
And I'm learning things. I'm taking my own notes.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But yeah, it's yeah, I didn't expect to like that game so much, but I'm still playing it. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, just not competitively with other humans because I can't do that anymore.
No, I can't really either, man.
I had to surrender that world to them.
Yeah.
some time ago.
It doesn't belong to us anymore. Man.
No.
Like you just can't get past this certain ceiling. Like you're just tapped out.
I just don't like it. You know?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, I don't know.
Well, I take pills that make me less competitive now. So it's,
Yeah.
What you got to understand, William, is when you have conditions that have episodes, like say mania and depression, in those mania moments, it really drives you to like press and attack, and really, really get after it. You really want to improve.
Lose 2 days straight 'cause you couldn't stop.
Even then, it's okay because it's still. Did I learn something?
Right.
Right. And then suddenly, when your mood like comes to like normal, you're just like, I don't have the drive to put in the hours and hours and hours to, learn all the intricacies. Like, even still at this point, Will, I know you know how this works. It's like everything that you do on like an entertainment level is always some takeaway. There's always some opportunity cost and something that you should be doing.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. And so for me to sit there and say like, well, I'm going to be the new God Emperor of, Age of Empires, like, I can't tell you how many like classes I'll be canceling, and like that's just not that's not gonna happen.
You guys' test isn't for another week. We'll talk to you next week.
Jesus, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's the depression of middle-aged gaming,
I guess my gaming's changed, man. So, like, I don't know. I'm better at, like, drawing my own boundaries about, like, oh, I really like this in this game, so
Yeah.
I'm going to do more of this. And then there's parts where, like, run into it and it's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do another fucking train level.
It's not even that. I mean, there are certain things that when I get into it, like you see what it's going to make you do, and it makes you mad because you're like, so we were doing this, okay? I've been bulldozing everybody. That's the game, and then the game just like stops and says, yeah, but here's the thing. You've got to sneak your way around now. I'm like,
Yeah.
why?
Why?
Why? It's like, don't you like?
The front door works.
That's all I've been.
Yeah.
It's like, no. If you set off the alarm, this all ends. It's like, why? It's the same thing where you have that dissonance where you've been again cyberpunking this, and so I've developed everything to the point where every human being's head explodes with one shot, and I'm a damn good shot in this game too.
Yeah.
But then, like, in some of those games, the cutscene happens and like 4 dudes surround you, and they're
Right.
like,
Put down your
"What do I-"
guns, and
and
you're like,
"Oh shit, you got me."
yeah, right, yeah. And they're punching you. It's like, man, why did I spend all that time on a street fights, man? I'm not even going to defend myself in this cutscene.
It doesn't even
Yeah,
matter.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like because the cutscene is going to make it happen, and you're like, "Can we just not do this anymore?
Yeah.
Like, can we not?" I
Yeah.
thought we were past this, guys.
And then do you lose your weapons for good?
Sometimes you
Yeah.
get them back because the whole thing is, well, if we take away your weapons, then you have to crawl through the vents all like silently and use the call of the owl, where the wildlife creates like an echolocation and you can hear things away. You're like, I haven't played with these things.
Yeah.
I put all of my points into bulldoze.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. There have been a few games that kind of respect that, but I think the trend lately has been like, no, you can't do it that way. You're going to play this game for the experience that we want you to go through.
And that's fine. You make that game, though. You don't
Right.
do this thing where...
Yeah. You don't set me up. Yeah.
Where you're supposed to be able to do whatever you want, however you
Yeah.
want.
Kind of, yeah. I remember one of the biggest problems was I didn't have this big of an issue, but in the Deus Ex Mankind Divided, so that's the not the newest one, but the one before that everybody went crazy for. They had this thing where the game and the bosses were made by 2 different teams because they didn't have enough time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the boss encounters, right? You could sit there and put tons and tons and tons of points into like stealth kills and all these other things. You could have had juiced so much that the bosses were unkillable to your set of skills because the guys making the bosses were like, well, no, actually, when it comes down, it's like shoot until they're dead. So if you had a build that was actually great in the game,
Yeah.
that was unpassable.
Yeah. I never played that one, but I
It was fun.
you're not the first person I've heard that criticism from.
Well, it was fun.
That one. Yeah. I don't know, man. I've run into that with a few of the war games that I play, where it's like, no, you need to recreate this thing, and it's like, but you're giving me these things over here,
Oh, right.
which worked much better. So, so. I've seen so many games that say, well, you should have a balanced army. And actually, Age of Empires is kind of good at that, unless you have a teammate. So that's what we noticed in this last game is like, Jeff's like, whose fucking camels are these? They're like, those aren't camels, those are all my horses. And he's like, oh, cool. And we just rolled these dudes. Jeff shows up with all the artillery, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll go clean off all the boogers here. You just bang on stuff. It was just, but I've played a lot of war games over the years where it's just like, oh no, this is the actual Battle of Fulda Gap. You better use your helicopters. And I'm like, why? You're going to shoot them down with those like fucking minigun tanks that you got. No, I'm not going to buy any of those, man. Fuck you. So,
But
well, then assign them to me in the beginning and don't give me points to spend. I don't have a problem with that. I played so many games where it's like, here, this is what you get, use it. And it's like, sweet, no problem. I'll
Sure.
figure out cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
And then, I think the first Close Combat or 2 were like that. They were great. They were probably some of the best war games I've ever played.
oh, you felt betrayed by the third one.
The third
if I
was
recall.
bullshit because that's exactly what they did. They were like, oh, here's a ton of points. And it was like, okay, I'm going to buy all the tanks and nothing else. And I was like, this game is boring.
Yeah, wasn't that the one where you were like torching the Kremlin by like turn 3?
Yep.
Because, yeah.
It's like, yep, burn this bitch down because we got here first.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it was just lame, man. So, but then I've played other games like that too. I don't know.
You would think that they would have people that would have tried that strategy.
So a lot of it, and I've seen this happen with some of the indie games that I play, I'll keep on top of the mod community and stuff like that. So they'll go out there and they'll test it. They'll throw it out to a bunch of people and say, oh, this is great. They add all the stuff in, but they don't actually listen to negative feedback. So yeah, so this,
What?
yeah, I've seen this happen a couple times. No, in fact, one of it was in a Discord server that burnt to the fucking ground. Just
Oh my
like
god!
2
Do you want
months
to tell
ago.
Will about this?
Oh, man.
Are you aware of the horrors of Discord?
The what?
Horrors.
Oh,
Horrors.
I have
Sorry,
a Discord
this is your
account,
account.
but
From
I don't-
Boston.
Do you?
I don't, yeah.
Oh.
You don't want-
That's how our Marvel Strike Force team communicates.
Oh, Discord? See, like, and my brother's got a Discord with like 5 or 6 guys on it, and it's just like, hey, what are you playing right now, kind of thing. That's fine. The ones that I've seen associated with games, and I've seen this one with this game, that's one of these indie games that I'm talking about, that I was playing a lot of last winter. So, in fact, I was going to do a whole new YouTube channel on it, but I torpedoed it because the fucking game community went insane. And it was all due to a Discord server, man. So, like at first it was all like these suggestions. And so it's like a small little studio. It's this train game. This guy made, like 10, 15 different types of train that you could, cars and trains and stuff in his first person game. And it had a really neat idea. It was like, well, make it into a multiplayer game so you can actually have an actual train crew. And so, someone's actually got to run the engine, somebody's your conductor, someone's going to throw switches. It was a pretty good idea. Okay? Yeah, so all above board at this point in time. Man, fucking people who like trains are goddamn toxic, man. So I thought World War II servers could get toxic. Trains blew me away with how bad people... And I mean, I work for a railroad, and so, I totally get it now, man, because people on the railroad, when you say that you like trains, they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? So, and now I can get it why, because, man, this thing just imploded over time. Because first it started out with people, oh, this is a great game, let's do a lot of suggestions, blah, 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 do this, do this, do this. And the guy's like, oh, okay, cool, let's build a, community, I need some volunteer devs. Built some of these models, and so all these guys jumped in there. You had, like people doing music, people giving all kinds of like coding tips and stuff like that. That's what a Discord server is supposed to be, right?
Right.
Okay, it took about 3 months for this motherfucker to like devolve to the point of time where it was all about like identity politics and Ukraine, and and it all started because people disagreed about like what train should we make next, and then it was like, okay, so this is where you get the burlap sack and you get on the slide.
God.
Because there's only one way to go down, man, and you're going down there fast. And that's exactly what happened.
Wow.
And so my other YouTube channel, people ask me, oh, we get a Discord server. I'm like, nope, never.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing is that's where you start getting that, look, we're just trying to play trains. It's like, look, everything is politics. And it's like, no, not this. And if you think it is, that's the door. But unfortunately, I mean, there's so much capitulation on this kind of stuff where,
well, okay, I guess I can see that, but like, so it was different with this one because the people who started slinging that mud were the people who had like gone in there and built like, fucking what is it, Blender models and shit like that.
yeah, I know.
So they totally felt like they had ownership.
Right.
Yeah, and
Right.
so the guy who's actually the owner and the admin, was like way too reluctant to kick people out. And
Yep.
so if you stay at the table long enough,
Can I get hurt? Yep.
well, eventually the people who are like kind of into it, are like, what the fuck is this, man? So I ain't going to the bad McDonald's no more. I'm gonna go buy a good one.
Well, shit, dude, how many years was it? I mean, you're talking about things that actually have like collaborative pieces, right? How many, especially before all this, how much of this was just based off of, well, I'm a fan of this. It's like, you owe me. It's like, based on what?
Yeah.
Well, I've seen all of these movies. I bought the comic books. I bought the novels, and those suck, but I bought them all anyway. I bought the first figures. I bought the second round of figures, where it was a question of, well, how much money had you spent? Ergo, you felt like you had some say in how this was run, just because you demonstrated in your own way your fandom, where, I don't know, to say that wasn't toxic before this, like Discord has
Yeah, no, I'm not arguing that.
evolved
I agree with
toxicity
you, yeah.
into like,
Worse than Twitter?
all right, so if I'm to rank the shitholes and I must.
Or because like Discord started as you guys were all working together. Twitter's always.
Twitter was theoretically that at once too.
Yeah,
So
a long time ago
look, man, there's a crowd of fucking weirdos that has been systematically ruining everything ever since they shut down Tumblr by banning porn. And they've been
though. That did happen.
yeah, so this human infection that has just like I can tell you the numbers of forums and things and games and shit that have been just run and destroyed because of capitulation because to this particularly idpol group, right?
Yeah.
Where it's just we're gonna have it our way or it's gonna be shut down, right? And I'm sorry, as soon as you leave that door open and say, no worries, you can come in, but you have to be cool. Within seconds, it turns into, well, this is this kind of board now. We're not going to tolerate this kind of language. We're not going to tolerate this. This is hate speech. This is this. It's gone. And what happens is eventually you chase off all the normies.
Yeah, you chase off all the normies. I don't know how many boards you've seen that happen on, but like the boards that I've been on, it started out as so tame.
Yes.
You know, it's like old men talking about model trains kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's just a function of time, you know, more so than anything else, because eventually, like, you know, you either lose like one or two good mods for like actual real reasons.
Sure.
You know, like
sometimes they die.
Sometimes they die. Sometimes, hey, I got a promotion. I can't do this no more. You know, whatever.
Do you call
Congratulations.
them mods?
Huh?
Are you calling them mods?
Yeah, the people who moderate the board.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
What were you thinking?
Oh, like game mods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Minecraft mods, but that didn't apply to people.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well-
well, they kind of there's crossover because a lot of times these boards, like the ones that I'm on right now, they're all dedicated to like testing mods and stuff in some of the games that I play. You know, so those are very on topic. But yeah, you lose a couple of those guys, and then you know,
All hell breaks loose.
well, it either breaks loose or they get the wrong dude in there.
So they turn it into a police state, basically.
They turn it into a police state because that dude's got nothing else fucking going on during that day, and so he's just constantly sitting there hitting that goddamn refresh button to see what's you know.
And that's the entirety of Reddit.
Reddit's the worst, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
If you were asking me to rank the shitholes, that's what I'm saying is I don't know where to put Reddit, but it's near the top.
I don't know. My experience with Reddit, that one would go on the top.
Fuck that.
So yeah, no, I don't even go there anymore.
That's the haven for goddamn Tumblrinas, and like these people are just the biggest fucking losers. Like,
Yeah.
you cannot take a place like that, give people a tiny bit of juice, and like the worst mistake they ever made was taking this and giving the people the ability to upvote or downvote
Yeah.
posts.
Yeah.
So yeah, you want to talk about running out normies until it's all furries and pedos,
It's all furries and
fucking
pedos.
freaks.
Yeah. Reddit's pretty bad, man. So I remember being on Reddit. It's been around like 7-8 years now. So a while. And I remember when Reddit was cute. Okay, because it was nothing but funny pictures.
That's all it was.
Nothing but memes, and it was great. They had some of the best on there. And you know, it was good for like, okay, you were at work, you got home, you're gonna have a beer or at the bar, and then you just sit there and you doom scroll for a little while and just laugh, all right, because people were funny.
Yeah,
You know?
so yeah, the thing about Reddit that was nice was it was one step removed from 4chan, so
Yeah.
the crazy shit
The really crazy shit
was filtered
not-
out.
Yeah.
And so you're like, oh, okay, well, I can look at this because this is for regular humans. The funny things the things that are too extreme, I was like, yep, this dude's stretching his butthole. That one gets filtered out.
Now, yeah,
but you
that
can look
one's
at the rest
over
of
on
it.
4chan. Yeah.
It's like that's where all that shit used to originate from. It
Yeah,
used
sure.
to start from there. It used to start from something awful. It used to start from, yeah, of course, like, you know, the different chans and all that stuff. And then it would filter out in a way that was socially acceptable.
Yeah.
And then they ruined it.
Yeah.
Of course they ruined it.
Yeah, Reddit got Oh man, I haven't been on Reddit in ages. And then, you know, like I get so many of these articles that come through me from like Google News, newsstand. On there, it's about, oh, check this thing out on Reddit. It's like, nope, block. Don't give me anything else from this source, man.
Yeah.
I don't care how many times this thing's been upvoted in the last. Now I'm getting them on TikTok videos, man. Where it's like, oh, so and so bitched about like the burger they got at Wendy's. This TikTok video has gotten 675,000 views in the last hour and a half. I'm like, I don't fucking care, so I'm not gonna watch it.
Well, that's you're talking about that classic like appeal to popularity, where it's like
absolutely.
The worst argument anyone can make is just to say, well, look at this and how many people have viewed it. It's like, well, no, actually, that's just a strict counter of how many fucking idiots, right, have looked at this simply because somebody else looked at it.
Oh, and I mean, TikTok's so bad anyway, man. You wonder how many people just you got a 60-second video on there, so you might as well just like, whatever, it's on, you know, and then it'll flip over to something else in 60 seconds. So that counts as a view. You know, come on, man. So
I've never gone on TikTok.
don't.
So.
Good for
Unless
you.
you want to give all the
That's
Chinese
right.
your information. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
You still seem pretty normal, so that's good.
Yeah, no, that is good. Yeah.
Will's got like responsibilities.
Yeah.
He goes to work on time and like adjusts his schedule. And,
My kids don't touch TikTok.
Right.
I ban their friends as soon as they touch the house. I'm like, no TikTok.
Yeah.
They're like, what? You can't? I was like, no, you can go home if you want to watch it, but if you turn that on here, I'm going to kick you out.
Yeah. Put
And
this shit on my
was,
Wi-Fi.
one of them was just like, he played one. I was like, hey, I told you no TikTok. He's like, but this is a recording I did of TikTok. I'm like, if you try and find loopholes to my laws, you're out.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
You still get prosecuted.
Yeah. I'm like, these are my rules. I don't really care how you try to break them.
all right.
No.
I was like, so the first warning is go home. The second one is you get the wall.
Your phone gets the wall.
They're gonna scrub you out of it. By the belt loops in the back of the neck.
But then William watches all the YouTube shorts.
Yeah, so
Like, I don't know if that's much different. I don't know.
no, their algorithm's different, and you know, so like, there's a couple guys that I follow that have gotten into uploading shorts lately.
It's
And
all
so
about
you do
and
shorts, and then
what
you
the
do
hell?
well. The whole point, the idea behind it, is you do shorts to drive traffic to your longer play videos. So because you're still not monetized on your shorts on YouTube. Now that's probably going to change eventually, but
You can't get monetized on shorts?
not right now.
Huh.
So yeah,
Interesting.
now that might it might be changing for some of the bigger creators out there, but you know, like, I mean, YouTube's like, there's basically a few people out there who've just broken it, and they know like there's like this exact formula, you know, of what's just like 12-minute video. You know, and then you know it's got to be basically Mr. Beast game show bullshit now. So
They're good. I'll watch.
they are good,
They're
man. Yeah.
good.
I still don't know. I still have never seen a thing by him, and it's not
He's not bad.
It's not because I'm like avoiding it, but
You almost have to.
well, no. What I can tell you for absolute certain is that what I watch has never once cross-pollinated into a video from that guy.
Oh yeah.
Not once. So there's been no organic version where this has been thrust in my way, where the system has said, we think you'd like this.
Yeah.
And again, this is not a strike against this person, because people talk, I was like, I don't know, I just never got into it, right? I don't know. I can't judge it.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have crossed paths with him if I didn't like have a kid.
If I
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
There you go.
Well, I don't cross paths with a lot of stuff, so
All right. So
Yeah, that's true.
I don't
too.
count.
no, it was when I actually had to transcribe that fucking Roblox thing, where I'm like, it was exactly what you said. It was about 13 minutes.
Yep.
And it was one guy doing these voices and just constantly saying, "Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Are you serious? Oh my gosh!"
Yeah.
Was it a cat face?
It was not a cat face. It was kind of a semi-Asian looking guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's one. I think it's a cat. God, I can't remember.
There's a lot of people who do videos like that.
But
man.
it's like an animated one, and he sits there and he talks and he does the
Oh.
whole thing throughout the whole thing, and he gets to give expressions and all this kind of stuff. And it's
Driving me
like,
up a
no,
fucking wall. I'm like, this is an insult to entertainment. I mean,
no. Sit yourself down and watch some of the garbage that the kids watch.
what
terrible.
actual television?
No. They're what
Kids
they
don't watch TV
choose.
anymore, man.
My kids.
Yeah,
do, so,
what?
Cartoons and such.
Yeah, which ones?
Disney
trying to throw them a
things,
lot. Yeah,
William
yeah,
watches all the anime stuff
Oh, okay. It's gonna get a little bit older.
because I put them in, I'm like, all right, nope, enough YouTube. That's done.
No, my daughter's 100% YouTube now.
Oh, yeah, mine.
So-
I'm just like, nope, you don't
Yeah.
get YouTube until you've finished everything, and even then you still have to act like a human for a little while, and then then you can go back and plug yourself into the world.
Veg out.
I'm like, nah, you gotta. I'll kick them out, like especially during the summer. It's like, no, now you need to go earn more screen time by doing something. I don't care if you play with toys outside, talk with your friends. I don't really care, but just sitting there, soaking it all in. No.
That playing outside is what you do to earn screen time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go
100%.
play a different way in
Yes.
order to get this relaxation method.
Yes.
And what's funny is, yeah, it's not relaxation at all. I mean, I can tell you exactly what it is. I can tell you why TikTok is popular. I can tell you why YouTube Shorts work, and that has everything to do with your brain,
Yeah, sure.
right? That's the problem. Our brains were wired to crave information. That is why we're the dominant species on this planet. Like, she didn't care. Is she here sleeping? Right? There's talking. There's all sorts of stuff going on. She's like, oh yeah, I just have cool people in the room. This makes me so comfortable, right? But yeah, the thing that made us alert was, oh, okay, so the subgroup of our species that lived and managed to, conquer this planet, right, are the ones that, when they got new information, it did good things in their brain, right? And so then you say, all right, well, how often should we tap this? Every 60 seconds.
Well, it's basically just continuous commercials. So,
Something, yeah, some kind of basic, like, new information. It's the same thing, like, look, there's a lot of people who are still addicted to, like, going on Facebook or whatever, and that's fine. And there are, like, people who are, you look at them and say, you tweeted fucking 212 times today. Like, you were not working.
Yeah, so I've never understood that phenomenon. I do remember my Facebook days.
Do you? I never had it.
I had it like way in the beginning. I think my Facebook account dates to like 2007 or 8. And then by, I would say, it was still a college thing. Because my wife got on it at her school.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, LAR school. And
Wow.
it was kind of neat in the beginning, but then
Right. As
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it got a little bit. Actually, you know what I did do this weekend was I did watch that entire interview with Zuckerberg and Joe Rogan.
Oh,
It was actually pretty good.
All right.
So yeah, I'm not quite
Really?
as
Rogan interviewed
for
Zuckerberg?
3.5 fucking hours. So he had a for the
Really?
entire time. Now Zuck had this like 40-minute commercial in the beginning for the metaverse or whatever it is. Okay, and Joe wasn't buying much of it. But he did have an interesting point. And he was like, basically, he's like, well, look, we got to push the boundary on devices because basically your phone is a limiting factor
Yeah.
for a lot of things.
Yeah.
And he was actually making the same point that you kind of were about this, about how why TikTok and YouTube Shorts were so successful is because it's about the best you can do with a rectangle.
Yep.
So yeah.
Ah.
But no, it was an interesting interview. I mean, he's still like probably half like lizard person, but
Yeah.
there's a
something-
piece of him that's actually human, and it kind of came out after about an hour and a half in that episode.
Look, I never said that he wasn't human. I'm just he either has like one extra or one less chromosome, and I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one it would be. Yeah, but he actually did a like, unlike a lot of the free speech stuff, he was actually pretty he was pretty. At least to me, it seemed like he was pretty above board.
Kind of about facing, but
Well, he explained his reasoning on some of these things, and like there were a lot of things that he was like, yeah, I can see why this would be a big controversy from your end, and like this would seem like something that was really nefarious and shit. But really, when it came down to it, I mean, we made a call. It wasn't a good one, kind of thing. But unfortunately, you do that, and you got to kind of live with it because that establishes the precedent for everybody else. There was specifically something. It wasn't banning Donald Trump. There was something else that he said, yeah, that was a bad call. And I can't remember what it was.
It was the hunter's laptop thing.
Oh, that's what came out in the news, but no, he talked about a different one. So it had something to do with Indians or something like that.
Oh, okay, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I can't remember the full incident, but it basically had to do with, like, I don't want to say an uprising, but a really important political movement that was going on there. I don't remember the full details, but...
Yeah. No, he talked about Hunter Biden's laptop, like, barely. So he was like, well, the FBI told us. So...
Which is absurd.
Well, and he said they didn't even mention that it was Hunter Biden's. So they said just watch out for a spike in certain activity along these lines. And they're like, okay. And so that one popped up almost immediately. And so they murdered it off. And so he actually gave a fairly...
ridiculous.
I get that, but, like, you saw the 30-second clip of that motherfucker? You got to watch, like, the previous 5 minutes of that, all right, where he kind of sets it up. So, yeah, because Joe hits him with that immediately. So, and he's like, well, they told us to do it. And then there's like 3 or 4 follow-up.
Doesn't make it better, though.
I get that, but there's like 3 or 4 follow-up questions behind that where he's like, wait, what? The FBI told you about Hunter Biden? He's like, well, not that specifically. They just gave us a warning that there was going to be a spike in activity based upon foreign interference within, blah, blah, blah for the next, a couple of weeks. And so we were vigilant and that got scooped up in it. So, So, but then I went and I looked at all the articles out there, and they're all pointing to the fact it's like, oh, the fucking FBI told Mark Zuckerberg to pull that story, and that's not what he said.
No, what he said was that it matched the profile of what a lot of fake stuff had been coming out.
It did.
So it got treated the same way.
Yeah.
My whole argument is, it's not for you to decide.
Yeah, and I don't think he actually made that decision. So, yeah.
He's the one in charge, man.
I get that. It's his
if
name
it happens,
on the thing.
if it happens under your name,
That's
if
true.
you're going to take
That's true.
ownership of it, then it's on you.
Yeah, but I don't think he specifically sat down and rubber stamped that one. So, but he did own up to those things. He's like, yeah, we make mistakes all the time. So
I can respect that, absolutely, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't know, but then there was a big piece of him that did seem half lizard still.
I think it's entirely normal to have some reptilian DNA that gets you to invest and create and stay involved in a platform like this in the first place. I mean, just like, you can look at the people who are the faces of companies and they come across as shiny and perfect and in shape and all this other stuff, but behind them there's a team of real weirdos that actually did the nuts and bolts work. Right? Where there's something slightly socially or physically or something off about you. That leads you to do something like that. Because, I can look at a dude like Elon Musk, and again, we're talking about count the chromosomes. He still passes for human, but there is still something a little bit weird about him.
There's definitely something a little bit weird about him.
And it makes him tick.
Yeah.
Right? And that's fine. And it's the same. We've been talking about the dudes that are in charge, the guys that actually innovate and stuff. You gotta have a little bit weird.
Yeah, he's definitely got a little bit of weird. So,
I think Mark Cuban passes for human, but he still has
he's got a little
weird tendencies.
Yeah, Mr. Wonderful.
He's not.
No, he's not. He's not a very nice man. So, I read an article about how fucking fake that show is the other day.
Oh, Shark Tank?
Yeah.
I've transcribed it.
Yeah, okay.
I've transcribed the British version.
Oh, that's
Dragon's Den.
Dragon's Den. Yeah. So,
which is the same but British. This is... I'm sorry, man. This is...
It's so fake. Yeah.
Well, the funniest thing in the world, right, is, because I've been following his career for, a long time, right, is... There is, the actual, like restaurateur and nice guy Gordon Ramsay, and then there is that cartoon version of him that the Americans made up,
Right.
where it's like, well, we saw you get mad at this like dude like cooking these like French fries. It's like, yeah, that happened. He like screwed that. It's like, we watched the numbers as it happened. We watched it live,
Right.
spike through the roof.
Yeah.
Can you do more of that? It's like, sure.
Sure. Put more zeros on my check.
And yeah, and they just flanderized that guy to the
Yeah.
point where he is just like, when he's on TV on the hell whatever type shows, whether it's hotel, kitchen, or any other
Yeah.
kind of thing, when it's an American thing, he's this utter monster. I do a lot of stuff where he's doing like British stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like pranking his friends.
Yeah.
He's like, I went to culinary school with this guy.
Right.
I'm gonna dress up in a disguise and try and get him to say something stupid.
Yeah.
I'm gonna yeah.
Yeah, I'd heard that. So I'm glad
Yeah.
you confirmed that, because I don't know. He was one of those guys that was like, he might be actual asshole. So I don't know.
Right.
But I just
Right.
seen him through American lens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas like
And-
Robert Irvine, you're pretty sure he's actually an asshole.
I'm certain of it
Yeah.
because
What is that guy on?
he what was his?
his was Restaurant Impossible.
Restaurant Possible.
Oh.
Yeah.
And given the kind of mood swings that people on performance enhancing drugs are typically on,
That's right. He did have pretty big guns. Yeah.
for a chef.
For a chef.
Well, when you kill your own meat with
right,
your bare
right,
hands to be able to serve it.
He's karate chopping his own cutlets.
If that were the case, I'd believe it. But given that his scope of killing is like saying, this counter is out of date.
Right.
We've got to update this in 48 hours or whatever it was. And who's that dork on Bar Rescue?
John Taft.
Oh, John. Yeah.
Is that him, or is it which guy is the dude that's like, it's all about putting in cameras and we're gonna take you to the secret van where we're gonna watch all of your employees. It's like,
Oh, I know what show you're.
who's this girl right here?
Yeah.
Why is she eating ice cream straight out of the tub?
Well, I mean, Taffers does that a lot, but he definitely doesn't have that voice. So
No,
you're
it
mimicking
is-
some other person.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's a show exactly like that.
He's not the hotel guy, is he?
He might have a
Yeah.
hotel show too, but this is another restaurant show, and it's like, did you see this right here? They're taking a drink on company time.
But that's every bar rescue.
Yeah.
So
Only that it's horrible. Like they're drinking with everybody and then fighting and then or
Right.
people getting naked or
Yeah.
something stupid. It's like, well, yeah, if that's going on literally like every day, then yeah, no wonder you're losing money.
Yeah.
but this, okay, again, it's like, well, you and I have worked in restaurants. You and I have worked like these. It's like, yeah, something like this happened once. And then what actually happened is, like, they went outside, they talked it out, and they came back.
I didn't work in a place that legally had drinking.
Right,
Right.
right.
Not
Okay,
to say we didn't drink when we were working,
right.
but
No, I
it
watched
wasn't
that.
on the menu.
Yeah. I watched that hotel one a couple times. It's so fucking fake, though, man.
God.
Because it's like, oh, we need to remodel all 800 rooms in this hotel with this. And I was like, that guy's got $80 million? What's he complaining about?
Right.
You know, kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Right.
yeah. He's like, just sell the motherfucker and go live on the beach.
Yeah, I actually turn around and say, like, well, I guarantee you Ramada would love to get their hands on this.
Yeah, sure.
They'll do the renovating for you.
Yeah.
And
They'll actually bulldoze your place for you.
Yeah.
Build their own. So, yeah. It was like, you know, all it took was just a little bit of math to realize that this show isn't for average people. You know? It's like, we might as well do yacht rescue or something.
But it feels average because the owners are so
schlubby.
yeah.
Well, that's the
Yeah.
idea.
It's
Is you're bringing people down to a certain level, but then, like, yeah, nobody's gonna sit there and do the math on that and realize it's like, wait a minute, he makes how much every month? Okay. So
Again, like the whole. I was talking to Will about this before you got here, and like 90 Day Fiance is a phenomenon.
Yeah.
Right? And, like, I was explaining how they screen for these things where you send in, like, there's a call on the website, you apply to this, and they look through this list of miscreants to see if there's people who will be interesting, right? And when I say interesting, I mean, like, are you going to fight on TV?
Right, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm doing, like, this show, and they keep on 90... You've probably seen this guy in, like, memes and shit. There's this dude on 90 Day Fiance, he's, like, 56 years old, who looks like he's got his neck crumpled in, right? And it's this dude named Ed. He's, like, on all the time, right? And he's just a weird guy, but
Yeah.
he keeps being on there because he's a weird guy.
Great drives ratings. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's this whole thing where
He's probably happily married and has 3 kids on the side.
maybe, I don't know, or you know what, he could be that bizarre. I don't know.
Do
Okay.
they ever have one where like everything goes well, like just to mix it up and say like, oh, it can work?
This one was perfect.
Yeah.
So I watched the first season of that, right? And that was actually on my own. I had heard about this show, right? And I was like, all right, I'm fascinated. And
Were you at the rig?
I may have been, possibly. And yeah, and so the first season there were a few couples where it was like, oh, actually they're getting along fine. And then they would eventually have like an issue, right? And they'd play it up. But then by like the third season, it was
All train wreck.
it was all like, well, people responded to the like really, what do they call them, like May-December relationships where there's a huge gap in age.
Oh, yeah, I can see why people would respond.
I can't remember the name of that, but yeah, it would be like this 65-year-old woman, and she's like, why aren't things working out with her 21-year-old Nigerian husband?
Oh, yeah, I've seen memes along that line, so that are associated with that show. Yeah. It's like, yeah, he's gonna stick around as soon as he gets his fucking work permit.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, this is the thing that eventually, you know, we know this. We understand that this is, they create a cavalcade of human misery because it gives people the opportunity to look down on somebody else
Yeah.
regardless of their station. I.e., the entirety of, God, I've worked on so many scripts of fucking The Real Housewives.
Mm-hmm. Oh, fuck those shows.
Okay, look, these bitches are stupid wealthy.
Yeah.
Okay. Success just ancillary things that were like, I can look at some people and like, I can even look like at a Donald Trump and like, yeah, you got like a gift from your folks, and then you parlay that
Yeah.
into ups and downs. I'm like, all right, I get it. Okay. So to turn around and say, oh, you're a self-made man, no. But then again, you have a lot of these people where it's like, oh, well, okay, so you married a rich person, then you divorced said rich person, then you married another rich person, and you sit there and watch these people like getting into these like catty fights that should be beyond people of their station, right? Where there's a certain amount of like, oh, you have enough money, I would expect there to be some dignity. But that's the whole point, is you watch these people with fancy lifestyles and you can look down on them and say, what a bitch, I'm not like her. I'm better than her.
The rich people with dignity are not on TV.
No,
So,
they're just
yeah.
busy being rich and dignified.
They're not on TV.
Yeah.
With all your transcribing, what percentage would you say is making you dumber versus those that are actually providing a little? I'm not talking about like change the world knowledge, but just a little
Like, I learned something.
Yeah.
Stupid production for smart people. Is it that square of the quadrant?
or that
Stupid
or
for
up
smart.
Okay, so I was lucky enough. I did get to do a bunch of Shark Week stuff.
Oh, really?
That was fun.
Yeah. I think that got kind of stupid a few years ago when they had Mike Tyson fight a shark.
Okay, that's like one show, and I haven't done that.
Okay.
But,
Did you get to transcribe The Rock? Because I know he was supposed to host Shark Week.
no, I haven't done that. Yeah, the thing they're actually like, talking about sharks. I mean, the one argument that I can give you against this is shark science hasn't changed that much
No.
to where you need yearly updates on it.
It's just showing you
Shark Week
attack.
is always so interesting because they try and make it sound dangerous, but then you have the entire week where scientists are explaining why, oh, sharks are just misunderstood,
Right.
kind of thing. But then, like, if you actually dive into some of the data, fucking sharks munch on people every fucking year.
Yeah.
So, and there's like so many people who go missing and stuff like that. Oh, I drowned at sea, and then they find a shoe a couple days later with a fucking foot in it. Yeah.
Like, it's not to the point where it's not. So, of course, we're going to be sitting there thinking about Jaws, and we're just sitting there thinking,
Sure.
like, okay, I can't go in the ocean because there's an ocean full of these. So,
Yeah.
it's not like as soon as you get like ankle deep, yeah, as soon as you get like ankle deep in the water, it's not like there's this like wood chipper with gills out there just waiting to demolish you.
Right.
But it's enough to where you're like, well, they're not friendly.
No.
Right? Some of them are. Some of them are just like,
Sure.
Don't get
well, they're curious. It's like, well, I don't eat these.
Yeah.
Right? That's just what people do. It's the same thing. It's like, I eat berries. That's a human being. That's not a berry.
Right.
Right? But yeah, it's the other thing is that there comes a point where it's like they're still sharks.
Yeah.
Still,
Shark and a shark, man. So.
I mean, you can try to gussy this up and say like it's new and say like, well, due to the ways the currents have changed, look at how this behavior
Yeah.
is starting to impact. Is like, well, they're still sharks. They're just in a slightly different place than sharks were before.
Yeah, but it was one of the things. Like I used to watch Shark Week every year.
Yeah,
so I
it used to be an
loved it.
event.
Yeah, it used to be an event, and I don't know. After a while, just like the things that I was actually reading did not match up with what I was seeing on fucking Shark Week. And I mean, I'm not going to like fucking George Norrie's "all sharks are evil," or whatever, where it's a shark conspiracy kind of thing.
Right,
But
right.
like there are actual just like sites out there like Shark Attack Files. You go to it, and then there's a bunch of instances on there where it's like, yeah, mistaken identify, somebody got bit, and then you find these are just predation.
I saw this thing on piranhas where
Yeah.
the story of like how they became to be known as like the most fiercest fish in the water
Yeah,
and all that stuff
I'm fascinated.
is Teddy Roosevelt went down to like the Amazon and they had it set up where they had the cow go into the water. And the fish ate the bone. But it was actually like it was all staged. Like they had a
Yeah.
cow go in the water, but they already had bones of a cow underneath there, and they made the water bubble.
You're kidding me.
And so it was this full production that they did for him, and he came back and wrote, this is the most ferocious fish, and like it
Yeah.
will clean you to the bone in seconds, and like all this kind of stuff, and that's how the myth started.
Yeah.
And then later on, people are just like you'd see them stick their hand in the water, and then they just
Yeah, they
go right
just
by.
print cruise.
Are you
They don't,
Yeah,
they don't
no,
care
they
at all.
don't. Yeah.
It's all like you can go on YouTube right now, and like there's
Yeah.
people just.
There's people fucking catching them.
And there's people that
yeah.
drag a piece of raw meat
Yeah.
through them, but it's like it's not bleeding or anything, so they're just like,
Yeah.
don't care. It's like it's not until they're starving that they actually start going
Yeah.
bonkers, and even then they don't really like. The only reason they bite people is because they like you got in the way, and it's all because of this myth
Yeah.
from Roosevelt.
You realized until this very second.
You thought they were
was-
if you go in that water.
In Lake Havasu.
There are two things. Okay, so that's gone now. So there's one other fear that has never been realized. Okay, that I'm still deathly afraid of, and that's quicksand.
Yeah.
But again, I've never seen it. I've never heard of a person that says like, "Oh yeah, I had a problem with that." I'm deathly afraid of it right now, so much to
Yeah.
the point that I remember reading books about if you get in, here's how you have to start. You have to lay flat.
Yeah.
Right?
Those are actually true.
Well,
So
yes, but the impression that they used to give with these books that I used to read was like,
we're gonna die.
well, it wasn't just die.
It's a $400 hand cart.
It was more so that it could be anywhere, and we used to have,
If you get enough water on the
Right,
dirt,
yeah.
right. So like we used to have
It could
fields
be
out
on
there,
the street.
and there was a thing of like this could be quicksand,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, you can pop your bubble on that one. There's what's that fucking church in France that's out like away from the shore? And it's like Saint Michel or something like that. I can't remember. It's famous. You'd recognize the picture.
Yeah.
So when the tide goes down, all right, that's how you access it. And the tide comes up, all right, there's a few 100 yards of water between it and the shore. Okay. That's quicksand, all right? And so there's all these videos of people, and they'll take tour groups out there, and you all start jumping in unison like this, and the sand actually starts looking like a trampoline, okay? And they'll put somebody in the middle, everybody will jump around, and that person will start sinking, all right? And they'll get up to like their waist and stuff, and then you just flatten out like this, and you float right up. So, yeah, it's like Jell-O. So,
Yeah. It just,
now, have people died from quicksand? I'm positive of it.
I'm certain.
Yeah.
Just like I'm certain, that even with that information, I'm sure there's a recorded death from piranhas.
Oh, I'm
probably,
sure.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
but yeah, until this very minute, like those were the two things that I'd never seen, but I like never want to come across.
Like, I literally had watched this, like, Livy had something on YouTube where the guy stick his hand in the water, and I was just like, what do you do? And he's just like,
Yeah, it's not going to skeletal.
Oh
and I was like, huh. And then it was like 2 days later, it was like on one of the museum shows.
That's wild.
It's got a statue of a little piranha there, and then it's got the whole story of Teddy Roosevelt being tricked.
That's fucking nuts.
I'm like,
you have
what?
blown my mind to pieces, William. How long have you been sitting on this information, by the way?
It was like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
I just.
No, I had seen the YouTube videos before then, but I didn't know the Teddy Roosevelt thing. That's kind of, I mean, we did. He was a cool president, but he believed kind of everything.
God, he'd be great with aliens.
He'd have his own podcast, man.
Why?
Yeah. He'd have his own podcast.
I met him, and I kicked their ass.
All right, well, I think he would be very convincing about convincing us to go to war with the aliens.
Yeah,
Quite possible.
with the aliens.
He would have watched Independence Day. What? The White House got destroyed.
We will not go quietly into the night.
Did you watch this recently? Is something that's kind of like polluted your feed is watching like Independence Day, or
No, I just remember that,
okay,
man.
all right.
It's like the most inspiring presidential speech you've ever seen in a movie.
This is one of the better ones.
Yeah.
If you say so. All right.
Oh, okay. I don't know. If you got a better one, I'm all ears.
Oh, I don't. But
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
if
I mean, fake president. I mean, get off my plane. Come on, man.
that's true. Yeah.
God, I haven't seen that in forever. I wonder if that's any good
It's
at all.
apparently it's still pretty good, but I did see a video of the crash scene. Not too long. It is horrifying.
It's PlayStation shit
It
right
is.
now.
It sure is. It is GTA 3 level.
Yeah.
graphics,
Yeah.
Not even remastered.
That is
So-
like if you watch the credits roll, you actually see like powered by the Havoc engine or whatever. I'm trying to remember what the old ones used to be
I don't know. But yeah, Gary Oldman is pretty good in that one. So,
But
but
what isn't he good at? So
I don't think I've
mean,
ever seen anything that he wasn't terribly good in. Or I mean, where I think he was terribly bad. I mean, he was terrible in
the
it.
Hitman's Bodyguard was pretty. He was
I haven't seen that.
pretty rough
What is this?
with Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And
Okay,
who's the
well,
girl in that one?
Salma Hayek.
Selma Hayek. That's
She's
what I thought,
barely
yeah.
in it. There's some other girl that's an agent in it, but she's not
okay.
famous. It's entertaining. I mean, it's nothing to be taken seriously, but it's just
didn't know
soccer
movie
fun.
until this moment. Yeah.
They have a sequel.
Okay.
It's the
Already?
oh yeah, it's like the
I thought that just came out last year.
no, the Hitman Bodyguard came out like I was still in the oil field for sure, and then it's
Oh,
like,
really? Oh, wow.
And then the
So, yeah, it must have been
sequel
the
is
sequel.
like the wife of, because it's more about Selma Hayek, I think.
Oh,
So it's
So that's the one that
wife
just came out.
of the wife of the hitman's bodyguard or something like that.
Sounds dumb.
I didn't see
Yeah.
the sequel.
I'm out now.
It's Ryan Reynolds. I'll watch it.
was this a pre-COVID movie?
The first one?
Like,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
like, was it at the cusp of?
It came out probably a year or two before COVID.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sort of like my new before Common Era,
Delineation.
and yeah.
Where,
What is it? BCE and then CE.
Before Wu flew. Yeah. No, I don't know. So I haven't watched Lord of the Rings yet, but I did start watching the new Game of Thrones.
Oh,
I haven't seen the second one. The first one's actually pretty good, so it's not bad.
I'm now dating somebody and she hasn't watched any of it.
Oh my god, that's
So
like a
she's-
month's worth of TV.
She's starting to binge it, and I'm like, but she has HBO Max. And I'm like, ooh, do I steal it just to watch, or am I gonna wait? Oh, what do I do?
How much is HBO Max a month?
I don't know.
I had it for a long time. I gave
I
you
think
guys
like,
all logins.
Oh,
I don't think that's
and then
gonna
you
work.
guys-
yeah. don't think it's
I
gonna work.
did.
Well, you did. Yeah, you did. I gave you one. It
Yeah,
was
I
like,
didn't have anything on there that I really wanted to watch. So
I think it was like 15.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, okay.
pricier for
Well,
like because Apple TV's $5.
So I found it's like 12 extra bucks a month on YouTube TV. So it's not that much different.
no, I mean, I guess the question is, if you take a quick look and see the things that you are subscribed to, I guess that's my new thing is I just do a double check and I say, all right, if I want to subscribe to something new, am I using?
Yeah.
And right now I'm using all my subscriptions.
Yeah, I kind of am too. So, I guess except for my Amazon one, but that one, I mean, I
That's-
got a Prime account
that's-
anyway.
yeah,
so
Part
it
and
doesn't
parcel.
matter.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. So
Although I haven't checked to see how expensive Prime is in a while.
is it like $100 now?
Is it?
I think
It's pretty pricey
Fuck.
for a year.
Yeah, I think it
I'll
was.
have to go do
80
the
for a
math
while.
on all my shit. So-
Look, I want you to look down there for just one moment.
Oh,
For those of you off
weights.
camera, that is a weight room.
Yeah.
And almost all of this shit was shipped via Amazon.
Oh yeah.
And what I can tell you is that it was free. And if I had paid for shipping on all these things here, man, I'm like $1,000 up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So
I don't think
cool.
I'm $1,000 up. So I don't know. I'll have to go take a look.
I use it a lot. So
Yeah.
I don't use it
Yeah.
as much as I did during the pandemic.
why you go out the same?
Well, that's true, but yeah, yeah, good point. I just don't use it.
Does your wife bring home a lot more stuff now?
No, I've kind of just fleshed out my house. So yeah, there's
right.
like little things here and there, like my loot crate. My loot crate's only got like 3 or 4 things in it right now. It's
Oh,
all just
okay.
kitchen shit. So, you know, that I can live without.
Would you ever get to the point of being like, I need to redecorate?
My house?
Yeah.
Fuck
you-
no, I'd move.
I need a new look.
No, man. I mean, we did paint my daughter's bedroom this summer. That would be about it. So, like, but the rest of it, like redecorate, like get new furniture and new wall curtain. Fuck no way. So,
Are you gonna be like the house that, like, growing up, you'd have like 70s wallpaper?
I have
Oh,
some
you
of
mean
that in my
light
house.
fixtures like this?
Yeah, like fixtures like the one over the table right now. Yeah. So no, when I moved in the house, we changed all the light fixtures. We repainted the colors that we want. The colors stay that way from now on.
Like
So-
indefinite, like
Yeah, no, actually, they haven't really gone out of style, man. So, you know, like, I mean, if they do eventually, maybe we'll just whitewash it, you know, but because then we'd be getting ready to sell it anyway. But no, man, I mean, bought new couches, what, like 3 years ago?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you could
you're
get new
lost.
furniture if you needed it. But
Well,
not
see, that's
really
it. I
a
did
deco,
get
yeah.
new furniture,
Yeah.
so I'm good on
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
that's
The only thing that I would change in my house is I would knock out my kitchen and replace its cabinets. And so that would be because my cabinets are ass. They're terrible.
I've seen them.
Yeah, they're bad. They haven't gotten any better. They didn't heal themselves over the last 9 years. So,
Did you feed them?
yeah, they're full of food, man. They don't know what else to try. So, but that would be like the only thing. And then, like, if I were to do a major, I guess the other major project is to redo my floors because my cats have fucked up my carpet royal. So, it's like,
do you
kid.
go back to carpet or do you just?
Oh
go
hell
hard-
no! I'd hard
hardwood
I'd
or
hard
tile
with the
or
no
whatever?
I keep carpet in my bedrooms, and then the main room, the living room, the kitchen would all be laminate. So
Well,
I like the laminate rather
Yeah.
than the actual hardwood.
Yeah.
So
yeah. What did you? Okay, because I'm trying to remember. Because you put in stuff in your Loveland house that was amazing.
Yeah, I was laminate. Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
laminate's
Yeah.
great.
just to sell it.
Oh yeah.
Was that?
That was the only time it was there.
Oh, okay.
We had the horrible gray carpet that was thick,
Oh
and
yeah.
it was just
Yeah.
you could see
remember
the
that.
dark tracks
Yeah.
of walking
yeah.
paths.
It's told stories.
Yeah, my carpet has many tales to tell. So right now, so that would be my thing that I replace. Yeah.
With carpet, I wouldn't have to vacuum as much because you couldn't tell. Man, my hardwood floor with my dog.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, it looks like every day it's just like, good.
Get a Roomba.
Yeah, I heard, but I heard that
fucking love them.
it overfills like
with that dog?
in like hours.
Well, just
And you
Yeah.
have to constantly just keep
you have to do that like once a day.
more. Like I vacuum like every 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
And in 2 or 3 days, the stand-up vacuum
Yeah.
Yeah.
is full.
Yeah, so okay, you might be a little bit, but like, so there's a couple different kinds of them that you can get now. All right, so if you want to spend a little bit more, it's got the one that docks and then it empties itself into a fucking like trash can. So that one's like $800, so it's not cheap.
Fuck.
But
But
it works
you're
great.
done.
Yeah, and all you do is you just set it up, and then you make sure that your house is like Roomba-able.
Right.
Okay, so that took me a little while to figure out. So, but you know, just a couple rolled up fucking yoga mats and stuff like that in strategic locations, so it doesn't get caught on the fucking couch or something. You know,
And then it learns, and so then you can move it, or
it kind of learns. I don't really know how much I buy that, but if you leave the docking station in the same place, you can set it up so it goes and does its thing at a certain time every day. And so, like, or you can just hit the button when you leave, and it'll go do its thing. And then when it gets low on battery, it'll go right back to the joint where
what if the dog kicks it?
you're fucked. It will explode. I don't know.
Did your dog kick it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
She
Like,
didn't seem like the type.
I thought my cats would be terrified of it. They just kind of ignore it, you know? Just kind of goes around the house. And I was hoping that, like, maybe one of them would try and ride it. But
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
You sit there at the camera. Get on it. Get on it. This is my YouTube
it's fucking great.
moment.
Yeah, I'm going to be TikTok famous. Yeah. So,
Yeah, the things that she's skittish about, I thought the vacuum would be it.
yeah.
Like, she does not care. As a matter of fact, there's times where it's like, come on, move. Right? It's just like, I'm not
Yeah.
bothered by this. Like, I am.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not going to vacuum every part in this room except a dog-shaped, like, chalk outline.
Yeah.
She stays in the same spot every time, so it just kind of layers.
That would be just a miracle. It would be like, the hell is this? Yeah, I know. But I don't know, that would be tough. Like, I get that kind of fur out of this, and you have a husky.
Yeah, you have a husky.
It's
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
I've thought about it. I might have to do it. I don't know.
Well, what
I
you
love my
could
room.
do is, I mean, especially with something like that, have you even tried, like, some of the, like, Affirm or like quad pay or any of those types of things?
I don't even know what
Quad
you're
pay?
saying.
What is
Oh, these are the things where, like, okay, if you have like an $800 thing, you don't have to like break it down on like a credit card or something. You just click this on the checkout, and it'll break it into like 4 payments or something like that for
Oh,
you.
I haven't even heard of that.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Really?
yeah.
I don't even worry about that.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, fucking moneybags, but you know, for the rest of us Earthlings,
If I'm gonna pull the
um,
trigger on it, then I'm just gonna pull the trigger on it.
Yeah. I guess I'm the same way with my credit card because anything that I put on there, I get Amazon points for, and that's my loot crate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah, these things.
I didn't know you could do that though.
Yeah.
It's just
And-
like at a checkout line at like Lowe's or some shit.
Well, no, but you do this online,
Oh.
and you take a look at the just available payment options, right?
Oh.
And yeah, a lot of these shit, even Amazon themselves offers a version of this.
Well, that must mean that you're paying some sort of interest.
Nope. Some of them are not. Like like a lot of the ones, like you can just go straight to Amazon, and they'll have payment options where I'll say like, okay, break this into 12 payments.
Yeah, I've seen that.
That's
on
there's
Amazon.
no interest on
Yeah,
that.
no,
Huh.
they don't care. So, because they make more business off the people who need to do that than they would off the people who want to do it.
Can't buy
You
it.
can't buy it
Yeah.
right now. Yeah, so they wouldn't care about the interest payments. So,
Yeah.
well, we'll see how that goes with inflation. Haha.
It's under control now. They've enacted plans.
I don't know, not
That's
according to
true. Yeah,
raviolis.
that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's totally under control.
No, it's totally fixed, and it's never a recession when you just keep redefining what a recession is.
There you go.
Yeah, that's not
Because you
gonna
can
work
do
out.
that. That's cool. And
Well,
why?
that's what the White House is arguing. So that economic council, they're going to come out with their thing in like 4 or 5 weeks. It's going to be a recession, I guarantee you. So, guarantee. So
Yeah, but I'm telling you, man, there are certain soft things within the system that piss me off so much. Where, like, after the Biden administration put out their changes, Wikipedia changed the definition.
oh, they
Oh,
did.
really?
Yeah.
Well, isn't
So, but like,
Wikipedia,
it wasn't the President's Council of Economic Advisors that actually changed that, though. So it was just his spokesperson who changed that.
Yeah, and then so here's the thing: is Wikipedia is not the peer-edited source that people think it is.
No, it's not.
There's a shit ton of gatekeepers in there
There are.
that keep
Yeah.
news the way that they want it to be told. And
Yeah.
it's shit like that.
Yeah.
Again, this gets me back to good old. What are we doing in terms of censorship and trying to control information? As
Right.
far as I'm concerned, like, the only controlling that you should be able to do is that child porn? Okay, great. You're going to jail.
Yeah.
The
off the
rest of
jail,
us,
yeah.
let
Yeah.
people decide for themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're getting like a whole bunch of like, I think this guy's actually gonna blow up a hospital, right? Yeah, you go act on that. But the rest of it, like when they say like, well, it's our job to control Russian disinformation, it's like, no, it's not. That's up for people to decide, man.
Yeah.
And if you're getting your news off Facebook,
Yeah.
I told one of
Yeah.
my students in an argument,
Why you get an argument with your students, man?
because we're close, because we're
Oh,
friends,
okay.
and I just said like, I remember I ended the argument with, it really bothers me that we both get to vote, and I have to waste my vote negating your vote. And her crime was taking Adele's side in that argument.
Oh yeah. I think you're outnumbered by more than one on
So
it.
it
seems,
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah. No, like my wife totally pretzel bendered me on your position in 2 minutes. Flat 2 minutes. So on that one.
Well, the funny thing is, I can actually cite some things that do support what he's saying.
Send them to me, buddy. So I'll run them by the boss. You know?
Well, look, the bottom line
You
is,
fucking murdered me.
ultimately, what I have to say here is like, all right, so the lawsuit already happened and that dude lost. So
Oh,
there's
He's
that.
right.
Right? So
I'm not even arguing on that. So
no, it had to do with basically like It did have to do with a lot of like intellectual property rights and how you can stretch these things, but in this case, like, well, he didn't win, so there's that.
Yeah.
So it came to me more so on like an ethical standpoint. When you are the source of her music, then by all means you should say, hey, I wouldn't have $200 million if it wasn't for you. I'll happily write you a check for this. But the argument was, well, because he had wronged her in some way.
Did he?
Well, according to her.
Well, I mean, that would come out of the lawsuit.
Well, again, it's when I say wronged, I mean in terms of like, oh, you guys
Party
broke up.
broke up.
Yeah.
Yeah, she might have been totally in love, and he just cheated on her.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, that's the basis
So that
was...
didn't come out in the lawsuit?
Well, again, the whole basis of she shouldn't have to pay him anyway because he broke her heart.
Yeah.
If a person breaks your heart to the tune of like 200 million, you still write him a check because it's the right thing to do.
If you feel it's totally like
Yeah.
it's totally up to her.
No, I think that's
wouldn't
totally
have
up to her.
existed unless
We all have our own stories from everybody we meet, and
You can't live
my
anybody
story.
else's experience but my own. Oh.
So now I have to lie in this next election to negate your vote.
Which next
and
election?
your vote.
This fall?
Yeah.
Whose side
Who
is that
the
on?
fuck are you gonna vote against me on this fall, man?
Whoever you vote for, I have to vote for the opposite.
I'm voting for Jared Polis.
I have to vote for the field. I'm sorry,
Man.
I have no
Vote for
choice.
president?
No, he's not gonna run for president. He said so. No, but he's up for governor this fall.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh,
No, if you take Adele's side, I have to vote against you.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna have to see what's on the ballot now. We're about to watch Jeff take some really unpopular positions.
Oh my god, this is like. So what'd you do? Well, I voted the pro NAMBLA candidate.
Yeah.
It's like why? Because Pat's the anti NAMBLA candidate.
Because I took the guy who doesn't believe in man boy sex. It's
All right, well that's about $1.30.
It's about 31.54. So
well, since I won't be on Friday, go Broncos on Monday. Football's back.
Oh, it is,
it is.
Yeah,
It is.
and they're playing Monday night.
they do against the Seahawks.
Against the Seahawks. Yeah, fucking. There's your kickoff for the season, man.
There's
So,
football tomorrow.
oh, there is.
Like real football?
Their Thursday night kickoff
Oh,
this
this is
is-
Thursday night on the first week.
every year. Yeah,
Oh, I thought they didn't start it for a week.
it's the Rams versus the Bills.
Oh.
It's like a mega game.
That'll be an interesting game.
Possible Super Bowl
Implications. Wow, man,
It's
so
fun,
out of the loop. This is embarrassing.
Well, you're tuned out of postseason baseball too, aren't you?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
after the Yankees sort of wiped their stink on.
The division.
Yeah, and congrats to the record holder now.
Oh, who's the record holder?
Aaron Judge. The new Yankees home run record setter.
In terms of numbers?
season?
Yeah.
Oh, for a season. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I was about to say, okay. I haven't been watching.
No, there were Yankees that hit more home runs.
Right.
They were around longer.
He had
but
been
yeah,
around that
How many
long,
does
yeah.
he have?
It was like 57 or something
Yeah.
like
Really?
that.
Wow.
Yeah. And I still think he has an ugly swing, but I think he just kind of like muscles it over the fence.
Well, he's also like 9.5 feet tall. So.
Which is also
yeah.
sort of unfair. Those of us who were like robbed of about a foot, I would be okay making him like average,
Yeah.
but we don't do it that way. I don't get to shave off like 1 foot of Judge and like put it on the bottom of my feet like stilts.
I'll take it in the middle, please.
Gross multicolored torso.
I'm wearing a shirt, man. Just had some explaining to when I hit the pool.
All right.
All right. I'm Pat.
I'm Will.
I'm Jeffrey.
Hit in the butt.
Thanks.